Hello, wonderful souls, life explorers, teachers, light workers, alchemists, visionaries, jade makers, lovers of life and lovers of Mother Earth. Welcome on today's Holistic Love Show. I'm ChriSOULa Sirigou, the Golden Muse, and I am so delighted. I am here with my dear friend and an amazing light worker, Gitte Winter. Hello, Gitte. Welcome, my love. Welcome.
Hello, ChriSOULa. Thank you for having me here. It's such a beautiful occasion.
Thank you for our conversation beforehand, because we have been speaking for some time now, and it is wonderful to hear all the different projects and all the different reinventing ourselves and reframing and being conscious of resistance. And you can see that I'm talking lots of R, words starting with R, yes. And there's a reason for it, because R is one of the letters, is the first letter of the rainbow. And you know that I am the rainbow lady and I love everything around color. And all of you that are attracted to me, you know that you love colors too, yes? Because we are a reflection, another R, reflection of one another. So Gitte, you've done so much amazing work, and you carry on doing it, and you've got this big vision about inviting parents, inviting teachers, not only in your country, in Denmark, but also all over the world through your creative spirit and through your passion, to how we respond to a crisis. How do we respond when somebody is crying inside and they want to reach out but they can't? How do we respond when a child has got anxiety issues, cannot sleep? How can we respond to when a parent has got issues and they don't know how to deal with it, and they blame themselves and they are in that sort of vicious circle? Does any of this resonate with you, listening or watching this? And does any of this resonates with some part of you that you may have been in that position, or you may still be in that position? It is always a challenging thing how we use responsiveness in our way of being, our way of expressing, and our way of connecting with others. And you, Gitte, you have been such a wonderful role model when it comes to respond to your children's needs, respond to your need as a mother. And you actually you went ahead and you have put together amazing meditations for that you used in your own family environment, in your connection with your children. And now all of these meditations, they are part of your books, and they are all over the world, and they are supporting and inspiring other parents out there. So thank you for this wonderful gift you have given us. And thank you for saying yes to being part of this Rainbow Letters to Mother Earth project. It is an honor to have you part of this project and the wider movement, the wider vision of it. So yes, I would love you to share your connection with the word respond and responsiveness.
Thank you. And of course I want to join your movement here and your Rainbow Letters to Mother Earth project. It speaks very much to my heart. So thank you for inviting me to be part of this. I look forward to seeing it unfold and being part of the process. And as I just said to you before we started recording, I see it as much more than a book. I see it as a movement. I see it as a place where all the rainbow children can come and feel part of something bigger. And I see that you can attract the children and parents who are ready, and teachers who are ready to be part of a movement like this. I think it's very beautiful. So thank you for creating all of this space for this project to unfold. So regarding response, as the respond, what are we responding to, and what is that all about? I think the first thing that comes to my mind is, how do we respond as parents to a society totally spinning out of the wheel? Like, how do we as a family respond to a society that isn't healthy for our children? How do we as a family respond to a workplace environment for us as adults that isn't healthy for us? How do we respond to a school system that isn't healthy to us? And how do we respond to each other in the family in a healthy way? And how do we respond to ourselves in a healthy way? So I think it's multidimensional. But what I see right now, and what is very, very visible right now, is a lot of people have been put on pause because of the coronavirus and the pause that we've all had to endure. Some have loved it. So some of my clients and people I work with and my friends, some of them say I loved it from the first day. Some say I had to adjust to it. But I haven't heard anyone say that there wasn't a part of what happened through the coronavirus and the pause we were put on that they don't want to implement in the way they are as a family. And so we are responding to the need to be a family, the need to be with our children. And that is the most natural thing in the whole wide world. It wasn't natural to not respond to be a parent before the coronavirus. So the pause gave us chances to respond to what it means to actually be parents. Because when society steals you away from your child, and in Denmark, where I'm from, we have a very sad record of being one of the nations in the world that drops our children off at the earliest age. So before they're one, they're dropped off at the child depots, as I like to call them. Before they're 1 year, and it might be 8 months old, 10 months old, and they're dropped from maybe 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we have a high level of institution, and our children spend a long time in those daycares, in schools, and after school activities. And somehow we told the story that that's the way it is. So when I came home from 4 years abroad, and I was a new mother, and I started questioning, why should I stay so many hours away from my child to have a career? Why should they be in an institution that was with too few adults to take care of them? Why? When I said all those, because being abroad made me think about the Danish system in a different way. And here I just see people walking around like this and just saying, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. I'm like, no, it's not. And what coronavirus is doing is having us ask the question, does it really have to be like this? So we are responding to the society in a new way. So I think it's like, I could talk for hours about this, but I think it's a highly relevant question. How do you respond to society around you, and what decisions do you make in your family to create a healthy family and have healthy, also mentally healthy children in a world that is completely on speed?
Yes, it's the. I start with the R because it's the first letter of the rainbow, and it is very, very significant because it's part of the 7-step rainbow method I created. And the R also stands for recognition, recognizing and where we are, and start building some becoming conscious of what's happening inside us, inside me, inside our family. And as you beautifully put it, it is, the responsiveness is holistic with a W, that it affects the whole system. You as a unit, as a father, as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a light worker, but also as your child, being part of it, in your family as a unit, but the wider family, planet Earth family, yes, which we call all, we're so fortunate to be part of planet Earth, to live on planet Earth and call it home. So, and then the R is also stands for recognition, recognizing how we feel. you know, and then we're responding to how we feel. And if when we recognize that our feelings are connected with anger, frustration, and anxiety, then how do we respond to that? What do we do to replace, another R, to replace these emotions of anger, which clearly have got an impact on your system? You know, that you can actually pay attention and then press pause again, because the crisis has actually allowed us to press pause and connect a little bit more of how these negative, if you like, emotions have an impact on our mental state, on our emotional state, on our physical state, and even spiritually as well. So then you got the response it has got different elements to it. Yes. So the response is actually recognizing how we're feeling and how we actually replacing all these different systems or different ways of understanding who we are in a more positive way. So replacing fear with love. And I think that's part of your work as well, isn't it, Gitte?
Very much. I early on as a mother, I figured out that what I radiated had such a big impact on my child. So you've got another word of R, radiate.
I love it.
And from that experience, I created my company called Room for Reflection. So you got another 2 R's. And that room I expanded to invite more parents into reflect upon what we radiate. And that is basically what I teach today, is that we have to become aware of what we radiate in our energy. And that is closely connected to our emotions. So as soon as we begin to understand that much of what our children are doing and how they're feeling is a mirror of what we radiate. So a lot of parents come to me because their child is suffering, or the child can't sleep, or the child has low self-esteem, or whatever it could be. Is the child is very sensitive. That's what they say. And what I've learned from many years of teaching and coaching and healing is that the child is just expressing how the parent is hurting in life. So the child is the voice of the emotion and what the parent is radiating. So when they ask me, could I book a consultant, like could I book a session for my kid? I'm like, no, but you can book one for you, because I know that if we work together and you get some training in how you can work with what you radiate to your child and your energy and your emotions, then the child will then mirror that new way of radiating.
Yes, absolutely.
What happens is that after 3 months of working together or half a year, this parent will come back and say, I'm doing much better. And guess what? My child is doing much better. So it's all about understanding what we radiate. And I've been focusing my books on as bedtime meditations, because a lot of the frustration that goes on in families occurs around bedtime. So we have a lot of drama around bedtime. And this drama will play out when the parent is exhausted and tired, and of course the kid is too. And when the drama then plays on, we have the tendency to think, I'm the parent, I decide. And then we forget to see our part in the drama. So what I'm trying to teach the parents is to figure out that what we radiate right there in the middle of the drama will keep the child awake, because every drama, every emotion that has to do with being alert or paying attention or figuring out my parents' energy will make me feel more awake and alert and keep me like not going to sleep. Whereas if I radiate love and patience and calm and, you know, nurturing feelings, then the child will say, okay, this is a safe zone for me. I will fall asleep now, because my body is so tired. So what we radiate is so important. So paying attention to what we radiate is one of the things that I teach the most.
And it is a matter of responsibility.
Mhm.
That's another element that I'm bringing under the rainbow, 7-step rainbow method, is about our own responsibility of how we uh, refine, how we are protecting, how we are releasing anything that doesn't work for us, and doesn't
Mhm.
bring the positive aspects of who we are. And not to mention that, we naturally, we have the light and we have the dark, we have the light and the shadow. Yes. So it is a constant interplay of moving from that to the other, because there are lots of triggers coming, and we are normally pushed, and our buttons are being pushed, or we are being triggered because energy levels are low, as you mentioned before, Gitte.
Mm.
But it is our responsibility as adults, as role models, how we look after our own energy, and what energy we radiate out there, because the
Mhm.
children will pick it up absolutely
Mhm.
naturally, because they know and they can perceive much more than we think as adults they can perceive, right?
Yeah.
So responsibility is another one. And
Yeah.
the other one that goes under the R, that is so playfully and wonderfully we actually bringing on this exchange between us, is releasing.
Yeah.
And I like to mention the word release, because this is one of the reasons why writing is good for us. Expressing our emotions is truly therapeutic, and writing, contributing a poem or a story or a letter, a love letter to Mother Earth,
Mhm.
or any letter. Because as a child, I was writing letters to my parents. This is how I was communicating my feelings to my parents, because I was a very sensitive soul, still am, and I was actually connecting with them by allowing to express how I feel and my wishes and my worries through a letter. So the reason why I am bringing that concept, that vision about rainbow letters, is because I have personally uh, felt the need to communicate, and how therapeutic and how wonderful it is to use it as a tool to connect with other people, whether it's a parent or is a friend or is a neighbor or your boss, it doesn't matter. And I like to bring us back to the simple way of allowing communication to flow. That's really important. So I started with a release, and releasing emotions through writing or through expressing. And that's one reason why I like uh, granddaughters and grandsons to bond with their grandparents, and parents to with their children, and aunties with their nieces and nephews, and so on and so forth, and godparents with their godchildren. So, and because children, they will need you to go through this at some point. They may have a question asking, how can I go about this? And I will provide the support and the guidance, but your child will be with you the whole process while they're writing the letter, and you're going to be there holding that space for them and supporting them and encouraging them. So it is about the releasing of emotions, but also is about reconnection, and building that bond between us adults, children and children together, and young people, teenagers, that they've got all of these hormonal um, journey of navigation of hormones. So that's why I felt I responding to the calling, Gita. That was why I responded to the calling, because apart from the fact that um inviting us all and encouraging us all to connect with your inner rainbow and allow your inner rainbow to shine. But also, there's so much going on these days, and I think there's so much resonance around what we are bringing out there to the world and how we co-create. And yes, I like to bring that um, connect even deeper with that possibility in that vision.
I love it. I love it. And the letter, like we don't write letters anymore, right? So the whole going back to writing a letter and a love letter in that sense to Mother Earth is beautiful. I totally agree with that. That's the right way to do it. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. yeah, yeah. And then of course, you know, what we express, it's not um, it doesn't always need to be positive. It could
No.
be expressing your fears, expressing your anxieties, but also expressing your dreams and expressing your gratitude and your hope and your vision. So and accepting as things are, you know, that's another thing. The whole vision behind the rainbow letters to Mother Earth, and I believe also your vision as well, Gitte, is how we can become more accepting of one another, and respecting one another as well, with all our perfect imperfections. Yes.
And I think in your case, as we discussed before we started recording, what makes a rainbow is both sunshine and rain.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
to think about that, if you put all of these letters together, some will have more rain and some will have more sunshine and some will have both. And that is what makes up a rainbow. So often I look up and I see, okay, I have sunshine and I have clouds and I have rain, but where's the rainbow? It doesn't always show, right? So the right composition isn't there yet for the rainbow to show. And other days you see the rainbow before you see the rain, or, you know,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, I think that's beautiful.
So yeah, it's uh, this is an invitation, and this is an invitation from my heart, and I believe it's also an invitation from Gitte as well, to all of you who are watching this or we're going to listen to this back, and you like to be part of Rainbow Letters to Mother Earth. It speaks to you, resonates with you, and you see it as a wonderful opportunity to enrich your life, and by responding to a planet in crisis, responding to what's happening at this particular period in our lives, and let's co-create, let's do something together, because that's what the rainbow also is teaching us. You know, the rainbow is composed of different wonderful colors, and every color comes together to create the rainbow. So you are part of the rainbow, and you've got the rainbow inside of you. So let's shine together, shall we?
And also, I think one of the most important things for me as I go into this project with my children is trying to let my imagination or my perspective of what I would love for them to write in a letter or draw in a drawing, and just facilitate the space for them to communicate what they have to say. And often when I do this, when I stop trying to control the output of what my children produce, they bring the wisdom to me that I might have forgotten because I'm much older. So for instance, when we traveled last year to the Philippines, they were asking all the questions I had sort of forgotten to ask about inequality, and why people are living on the streets, and why we stay in a luxury hotel when people are starving outside, and can they bring the food down to the street. So I invite you to allow your child to also teach you some of the things that you might have forgotten, simply because we have lived longer, and the purity that comes from a child, even the younger the better in this sense. And so when I have meditated with my children and allowed them to become creative afterwards, and just listened without trying to control the output of it, we've had the most beautiful conversations. So I just wanted to add that to this project, that if you allow that space to open up for creativity, you can really learn a lot from your child. That's when the child becomes the teacher, and I love that.
I love that too, Gitte. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. So equally, I like to add that the contributions in the book would be in the form of a letter, but also it could be a poem or a short fictional story of 500 words maximum, and or it could be an illustration that you like, you know, because children are gifted. We are gifted in so many different ways. So if they are expressing themselves through color and image and shape, and they like to form, you know, their own story through an illustration, then that's a wonderful, because again, within the team we've got wonderful illustrators that they will be able to appreciate the work that is going to be submitted by your children and young people. So I'm not going to be the only judge in this. So I don't want to call myself a judge, but I would not like to press, you know, the different callings here. You know, I would just like to have people in the team that they will be reading through the letters, and they will be also connecting with their work, and then all of that will be shared. So the whole project is all about inclusiveness. So every single contribution will be publicized in some shape or form. So we start off on the 5th of June as the first stage of sharing part of the responses from you, and that's going to happen on the 5th of June. Then we celebrate World Environment Day, and I thought that that's an amazing wonderful opportunity to celebrate Mother Earth and all the contributions and writings coming from you, or illustrations. So that's all happening. It's going to happen, of course, virtually, because that's the only way we can connect these days, which is good. You know, we can still connect. And then I will share all the information in the description of the video coming with the recording of the show today. Okay, so you can connect with and read through, and then have all the information in front of you. Okay. So Gitte, thank you so much, my love, for joining me, for being part of this wonderful journey I had, and look forward to receiving your children's, your daughter's responses in whatever way it comes.
I look forward to seeing what's created.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this co-creative journey. Being on this wonderful Mother Earth, and what can we do? How can we act? How can we compassionately act in response to a planet in crisis? Lots of love from me, ChriSOULa, and from my wonderful friend and light worker, Gitte Winter.
Bye for now.